The window to keep this win streak real just narrowed at corner, and the answer isn't patience, it's precision. Welcome back to Bears News Fan Report. I'm bringing you the full picture right now, what Stevenson's shoulder does to our coverage menu, why the front office moved from monitoring to decisive action, which profile actually fixes 3rd and 7 in November football, how the cap and draft capital frame a deal that keeps us competitive today without wrecking 2026, and what the ripple effects look like on rotations, disguises, and takeaway rate. I'm not giving you teas and crumbs. I'm giving you the map so when the moment lands, you know exactly why it makes sense. We're coming off a blue-collar, statement win for straight, 26-14 over the Saints, where the defense again carried the night with 4 sacks, 4 takeaways, and a total yardage squeeze that told the truth about this group's identity. That performance matters because it proves the structure is right. Now the job is keeping the structure intact after a hit to the perimeter. Tyreek Stevenson has been our tone setter on the boundary these last weeks. Strong hands at the catch point, leverage discipline, and the kind of short memory confidence every press corner needs. The shoulder changed that calculus in a snap. When you lose that presence, you don't just lose a body, you lose calls you love. You blitz less from the slot. You disguise less late. You tilt a safety earlier, and the offense starts seeing the tilts. That's how one injury spills into 3rd down efficiency and red zone stress. It's not panic, it's math, and math is what drives the trade clock. Head coach Ben Johnson made it clear the full medical read comes on Monday, but front office timelines don't wait for perfect clarity in late October. They stack contingencies and pull the one that balances risk with reward. Jalen Johnson's status already pushed us into next man up mechanics for most of the season. Nahshon Wright came back after a shot to the stomach, but that's depth stress you don't ignore. The staff has milked sound zone discipline out of a rotating room, leaned on Kyler Gordon's versatility inside and out, and asked the safeties to be exceptional problem solvers. That gets you through a Sunday. It doesn't guarantee January. So here is the plan I've been tracking. Identify an outside corner who can live in our press-to-bail world. Travel with true no-one's out when needed, tackle like an extra linebacker on perimeter screens, and carry verticals without panicking when the ball is in the air. Add the must-have, ball production under real stress click and close timing, not just PFF-friendly pass breakups. Then layer on durability and a contract you can stomach in a cap-managed season, rookie deal money or close, and a path to an extension that doesn't box out our own young core. That filters the board fast. Veterans with big guarantees take you out of position elsewhere. Slot specialists don't solve the outside. Developmental flyers don't help in week 10. This is why the search kept coming back to one archetype and one division. AFC North corners who lived in rough weather. High leverage man snaps, and old school physical football where tackling is non-negotiable. I've watched the staff tweak calls the last 2 games. More 3-match on early downs to keep eyes on the backfield. More cloud looks to protect the boundary when we're light in the room. And a clear preference for boundary corners who squeeze routes with their hips and trust the post safety to clean up the rest. That tells you the profile they'll buy. It also tells you the staff is serious about not breaking what works. The front ganging up on the run on early downs and earning those. 2nd and longs that make the call sheet sing. Here's where the trade picture gets real. You don't call about a top 5 corner in late October unless you're ready to ship a first and a premium player. And that's not what this roster needs. You call about a no 1 caliber, outside corner on a rookie deal whose team has a future cap bind and a corner pipeline behind him. And you structure it to protect yourself. A 2026 Day 2 pick as the core, a conditional 2027 sweetener tied to snaps and playoff wins, and a late pick swap that keeps leverage honest. You make it clean, you make it fast, and you make it clear you're not playing auction games. Slide with me to the field again, because the fit has to work on grass. With Jalen healthy, he stays your island when needed. Kyler owns the slot and spins out as a chess piece. And the new outside corner becomes your matchup weapon, pressing at the line when we want to disrupt rhythm, bailing with tempo when we want to bait throws to the sideline, and triggering downhill on quick gain to keep offenses behind the sticks. That kind of player lets the coordinator bring the nickel pressure again. Trust the weak side hook defender to get wider earlier, and get back to those robber looks that force quarterbacks to throw late into leverage windows. It also unlocks the four-man rush more often because you don't have to live in fire zone to cover for a soft edge. You don't rip a room to add a name. You add a pro whose tape screams reliability, whose demeanor fits a blue-collar building, and whose game travels to bad weather. The conversation in Lake Forest has been exactly that. Stabilize the perimeter, protect the streak, keep the culture. The market is the market, but there's an answer on the board that checks every box we just outlined. And I'm ready to put the name on it now because it gives you the cleanest route between today's problem and January football. Cam Taylor-Britt. That's the reveal. An AFC North corner built for press, a hitter who doesn't flinch. A boundary presence who plays through the hands and trusts his speed when receivers try to stack him. A ball hawk by temperament more than highlight. On a rookie deal cap friendly right now, extension eligible soon, which actually helps you because you can structure the room with clarity. He's played weather games, he's lived in vertical systems, and he brings that controlled aggression that fits Chicago. Drop him opposite Jalen when healthy in every coverage call tightens. Drop him in now and your disguise catalog expands overnight. Picture 3rd and 7 with Kyler inside, Jalen and Taylor-Britt outside, and the post safety free to shade where the matchup really is. The Bengals don't do giveaways. You're not stealing a starter in his prime for a mid-rounder. But there's a world where a 2026 second-round pick, a conditional 2027 fourth that escalates based on snaps and team success, and a late day 3 swap gets you to the finish line, particularly if Cincinnati has internal depth they trust or decides to cash in now rather than face extension friction later. Chicago can frame the money cleanly. Rookie cap number slides in. You hold flexibility for in-season elevations, and you preserve space to handle your own renewals. On the field, the staff would onboard him with what we already do well. Press outside the numbers to kill quick outs, bail late to bait out breakers, and drive on curls with the post shaded away. He can carry verticals against speed. He's strong enough to contest digs. He's fearless setting the edge when offenses spam bubble screens to punish light boxes. That lets you call the game with conviction again. The knock-on effects are real in the room. Terrell Smith snaps rebalance. Depth stops being guesswork. Special teams gain a tougher gunner-type body on kick coverage when the rotation settles. You can feel the city on this. It wants a move with teeth, not a headline. This is that move. I'll also be honest about the risk so you don't have to guess. Learning the verbiage in 2 weeks. Syncing with safety leverage in our disguise package. And playing clean football without penalties in a new handsy environment takes reps. There's always a Sunday where the new guy reads your leverage differently and a window opens. That's why you do it now, not in late November. Give him 3 games and the bye week with the room, and you're rolling into December with alignment and communication that feel lived in. That's the point. The trade deadline should serve January, not social media. Where does this leave Stevenson? He's still a long-term piece, and that's not lip service. Shoulders heal, competition elevates, and a deeper corner room keeps everybody sharper. When Jalen comes back, you're flexible. You can travel matchups. You can lock aside. You can shade the post where you please. If everyone returns on schedule, the move makes you dangerous. Either way, Chicago wins because the plan is coherent. Let me bring this home the way I always do, cut and dry. The Bears are winning with defense and discipline, but the perimeter just got punched. Standing pat invites the schedule to find the bruise. Moving for Cam Taylor-Britt fits the scheme, the season, and the city. Affordable cap, playoff quality traits, and a mindset that speaks our language. You pay a fair price, you keep your 2027 flexibility. And you give Ben Johnson the coverage tool he needs to keep dialing pressure without exposing the boundary. That's not noise. That's roster building. Now it's your turn. Chicago, drop your read below. Is Cam Taylor-Britt the right call at the right price? Or would you push the same package at a different profile? Would you tie the conditional pick to snaps, to playoff wins, or to turnovers? And if you're in the chair, how fast do you pull this trigger with the deadline breathing down the neck of a 4-game streak? I'll be in the comments. I want the football arguments, not just the vibes. My final take. The move is smart, the timing is necessary, and the fit feels like Chicago in November. Subscribe, turn on alerts, and stay with Bears News Fan Report. When the phones heat up, I'll bring you the football logic, not just a headline.